5,695 pounds as shown here in upgraded Summit Edition, the 287 Bunkhouse Super Slide Coachmen AZDEL Ultralite Apex at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This just might be the cure for the common bunkhouse. This is what I call a Franken-camper, where they really just kind of stood back and said, all right, let's look at a whole bunch of different RVs. Let's look at our favorite parts of each of those, and let's cut and paste those into one camper and see what we get. And every now and then, you get one that just works. Now with the slide closed, I actually stumbled into something purely by accident, and I'm glad I kind of did, because I think it'll be very beneficial for whoever takes a camper like this one home from Haylett RV. At obvious glance, you look at it, you go, oh cool, with the slide out I can get through here, I can pack up the kitchen, I can get to the bunks. But I realized when I left the bathroom door open, when I closed the slide, I couldn't close the bathroom door. Well, by contrast, that means you wouldn't be able to normally open the bathroom door in travel mode either. So, with about 1 ounce of creativity and forethought, you could do something, basically, to keep the bathroom door open in transit. So that if you needed to get through here real quick for an emergency bathroom stop, you'd be able to do so. And if you do that, well then really, this camper is about as close to fully travel accessible as you could ever hope anything to be. And what's so cool about this one to me is that it's familiar, but fresh. It feels like something that you've seen before. In certain aspects and ways, it will resemble another bunkhouse you might have seen, but it is a unique package. There is nothing else I've ever found exactly laid out like this. This is a little bit different in its execution. You know, there's, like I said, it's very similar in a lot of ways to something like a 29 BHS Cougar, except it flip-flops the bunks in the bathroom to give you an outside kitchen and entertainment station instead of a bathroom direct entry door. So, you know, everything has its pluses and minuses, its ups and downs. But what I also like about it, as compared to most bunkhouses, that with a super slide arrangement like this, they require you to look 90 degrees to the left so that you can see the entertainment center. This one brings to bear an easy viewing, direct shot entertainment center right here. And it does it at a lighter weight rating than I've really seen another camper do it, and also, coincidentally, a little more budget-friendly than some of the other direct-facing entertainment bunkhouses I've seen out there. So one of the cool parts about a bunkhouse is it can sleep a bunch of people, and with the fold-down sleeper seating in the slide, this is no exception. Starting over here with the bunks, you have a set of double bunks, and Apex has gone to using thicker bunk mattresses, and that is a welcome addition, because I think in the past some of their bunk mats were a little bit thin, and you'd probably have to put some kind of little foam topper pad on there for the kids, because if the kids don't sleep good, you are not going to have a good day tomorrow. Every parent knows that is true. Now over here we've got this big trifold sleeper sofa, and what's great about this is when it's open, it doesn't block the camper. That's another benefit of a direct-facing entertainment center. It gives you more room around the sofa to be able to see around things. And then of course we've got a simple little 2-bench dinette that can fold down into like a last-ditch resort sleeper to give you up to 9 sleeping spaces before you have to resort to air beds on the floor. Now you've got great airflow throughout the Super Slide with slide side breeze windows. So it doesn't matter where you sit, you're going to have a nice cross breeze rolling through if you open all that up. And again, we've got this easy viewing entertainment center, even if you're in the dining area. That's a neat thing about this, is they made the TV kick out what I feel is the proper direction, so that it's a little easier to see from the Super Slide seating. Now what's cool here is we have expandable entertainment, because down below, to begin with, we've got a Jensen Bluetooth DVD stereo system, and you can get the J Control app on your phone. Anything that can do right there, basically, you could do off your phone. But then you notice that we've got that black square USB charger on the right side, and that middle open shelf. Whether you're going to use that for device charging or you're going to use it for adding a Blu-ray or satellite or whatever, you have the room to do that. Now you will often see speakers like this on the outside of an RV, but one of the things I think works here is just the whole color palette really kind of works together with these little blue inset speakers. Just a nice little difference, a nice little touch. Now, I mentioned how we have thicker bunk mattresses, which I think is a nice touch over last year. But you notice that this upper bed here has that little corner shelf with those power outlets to help the bigger kids on a rainy day stay occupied, because bigger kids will probably occupy the upper bunk. And we've got the little grab handle to make getting up and down easy. Bathroom is simple, but simply effective. It does what it needs to. It doesn't do any more than that. It doesn't try to be anything else. But what is neat is whether it is the bathroom countertop, the kitchen countertop, or the dining table, you have a pressed membrane counter here, which is going to be a little stronger and better against water resistance or water exposure. More resistant to water exposure. That's what I was trying to say. Alrighty. Now, every RV does something better than another one. I say that all the time, and I believe that wholeheartedly. And in the case of a Coachmen camper, I think the one thing I could say that just unequivocally that their brand does the best is awesome storage. The doors on the dinette bench ends there make it easier to get to that storage without having to take the cushions off and the plywood bases off of those. But it is nice that underneath the dinette cushions, they are using nicer materials like a bigger, thicker plywood. They don't use like scrap in these Apexes. This is a good quality brand. It's what I call a smart money ultralight, where they do everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. But the storage below the dinette is really just where the good news starts, because right when you walk in the door, where most bunkhouses similar to this would have a entertainment center, you have this extra pantry right here. And then another thing that is kind of cool is you have this little sort of welcome home stand, which is just begging for phone chargers. Am I right? I think that's exactly where I'd put one of those. Neat little mini shoe garage, although this whole kind of entry area is probably going to be a neat little shoe collector. Now, before we get to the rest of the kitchen, something I kind of glossed over earlier is there's actually a decent amount of storage above and below the TV area right here. They did a good job of that. Now, some campers will have what I refer to as a pantry-tainment center, where the TV doubles as like a door for a pantry behind. This one does not have that feature because it also has an outside TV entertainment center behind the inside TV entertainment center, and we'll see that as we go. Now, back up here, something I like to point out on all the cabinets in this is that they are pocket screwed with hardwood cabinet door frames, meaning better quality construction, shown to last longer. And these are full depth overhead cabinets. They're not sunken back in relation to the microwave to make the RV look or feel bigger at the expense of wasting your potential storage space. Down below, in Summit Edition, we get some upgraded kitchen hardware right here. You can see that cool spring-loaded faucet above the stone cast sink. Although we can't exactly see the stone cast sink currently, due to the fact that it is covered up by these flush mount pressed membrane countertop covers. Now, this sink is a legit piece of equipment right there. It is rated for up to 500 degrees. So if we're boiling water over here, cooking something, you can pour hot water straight into this thing. You're not going to damage it. Between the flush mount timber glass stove cover and those sink covers, you actually get a pretty good amount of prep space in this smaller trailer. That is one of the better things about the press membrane countertops. They allow you to do that. Below the sink on the left, you do have space for a small wastebasket next to those 4 drawers down to the floor. And from there, we're going to kick our way up to the master bedroom. One quick thing I want to point out in this bedroom right here, as we pass through where the sliding pocket door would be, is this is a 60 by 80 residential queen. This is not the short camp queen, and so it's a longer queen, and you can walk around it. So you're not going to have to worry about your feet hanging off the edge or kicking the wall. And if you're like super duper duper tall and your feet hang off the edge of this, well, good news, you're still not going to kick the wall. The Summit package is giving us that front windshield. Remember that the one that we have in stock could be a little different from the one that you're seeing here. The skylight above is great just for extra lighting, as well as a little bit of extra airflow when you don't necessarily want to run the AC full time. Of course, you could put a TV against the wall, but on the flip side of the pantry, in the living area, you have a pantry there. Here in the bedroom, you have this like extra closet or dresser with adjustable, removable shelves. And this is the kind of stuff I'm saying where it's familiar but fresh, and a Franken camper, where they took a few ideas from different campers. I've seen RVs with a bonus closet in here. I've seen RVs that have the direct-facing entertainment in a super slide bunkhouse. I've seen RVs that have the fold-up cargo bunk that we'll talk about when we get outside. But I've never seen one that puts all these things together into one RV before. So again, it's familiar but fresh, and it's just yet another shade of gray that we get to offer you here at Haylett RV to help you zero in on the one that is going to be the perfect fit for you and your family. The Summit Edition, among other things, gives us that beautiful 3/4 nose cap with that front windshield, and there are some really cool accent lights on each side of that windshield if you want to kick those on. And the switch for that is up here, and this very nicely finished front pass-through. This is one thing Apex does really, really well across the board, and I think it's an easy thing that other manufacturers should pay attention to, in the way that they just fully finish this off. It doesn't look forgotten, doesn't look raw, exposed. It doesn't function any better than anything else. It just looks and feels so much cleaner. You feel a little more proud looking at it, you know, when you own this thing. We have motion sense lighting in this pass-through as well, so it's kind of like the refrigerator. You're pretty sure it shuts off when you close the door. Now, if you take a look over here, one of the things I like about these, if you get off the computer every now and then, it is important to use these videos to give you ideas, guys, and then come visit our team here at Haylett RV and put your hands on some things. And this is one of those touchy-feely differences that you're going to notice on an Apex. They really have a heavy-duty baggage door right here. It's very thick, and that's going to help act as a insulating barrier between the outside and the inside, because right inside there is what's directly under your bed. And if that's not holding heat or cold or whatever you're trying to accomplish in the RV, you're not going to sleep well. Now, little detail things like nicer metal slam latches, not plastic compression latches, the protected hinges, the magnet latches, just little easy detail stuff. And you saw how big that pass-through is. Plenty of space for a little portable solar panel there, among other things. Now, one of the secrets of the sauce of the Coachmen Ultralite family is AZDEL under the fiberglass skin of the sidewalls. And if you're not familiar with that, basically it's a wood substitute. It's a composite resin. Its primary thing that it's doing for us is that it's lighter in weight, and the material itself can't rot, mold, or mildew. It's a moisture barrier. It has a couple other secondary benefits, but those are the main things. So it's a good weight control feature and longevity improvement kind of concept. The spare tire on an Apex, kind of like its big sister, brother, whatever, the Freedom Express, will be tongue mounted, which is different and kind of cool. Improves load balancing, and it also keeps the rear bumper open in case you decide to add like a bike rack or something. Although with the cargo door in the back that we'll see in a minute, you might not need that. Just another quick look at the passenger here. One thing that is nice too, they use a really heavy-duty bulb seal on this, very like automotive. It feels a lot like a car door. Underbelly of this is enclosed and forced air heated. Our slide walls are also seal gripping, and that's going to do the job here of making sure that these wiper seals are always pulled all the way in or out, so that you don't get a, if you have a gap, well, you're going to have a leak, and we don't want that, do we? Slide side windows, and notice that they're UV tinted. That's going to keep the sun out. It'll keep the nosy neighbors from nosing in as well, and it'll keep the whole RV cooler. As we're coming past the rear, sewer utility hookup station, cable, water, black tank flush, all right next to this, all in one smart location. And then just little detail stuff like they use a little bit better bumper caps on here to keep your sewer hose held in the bumper, because those caps on most brands, they're just notorious for going flying when you're going down the road. The Apex ones seem to hold on much, much better. This is an all aluminum skeleton. We've got laminated walls, floor, roof. You can walk on the roof if you need be for seasonal maintenance and upkeep. The rear cargo door here, this is again something that's very similar to the Cougar 29 BHS, but not exactly. Maybe real similar to a 2950 Passport. That's probably the closest match for this in the Keystone lineup. So if you need to, now this is going to be better for little kid bikes as opposed to the Cougar door, which is a little bit wider, which might actually fit adult bikes a little better. But it's functional, and even if you don't use it for bikes, man, what an easy access cargo space. Or on a rainy day, if everybody's trapped inside, this is just really an extension of the floor space of the living room. This could be a handy little like fort for the kids. They could pull the curtain, have a good time, play around. That door deadbolts, by the way, so you have the same security here that you have on like your main entry door. You do have a full outside utility shower here, and I think it's really intelligently located next to this little, I'm going to call it a full-on like outdoor tailgate party station that we have on the Apex 287, because you can see that TV sticking out of the side. That is a standard piece of equipment here on the 287. They build this floor plan what I feel is appropriate. Every brand kind of goes about things a little bit differently, and I love how they use this, because the cool thing with the TV is they're not very deep. So that means that you didn't really have to give up any useful interior storage space. You still had deep storage above and below the TV, remember? Now you just get a cool outside entertainment station next to your own free-floating Coleman camp grill, which is a high-output grill, so it's not inclined to, you know, blow out in a light breeze. The flame won't tend to flicker out. Same pressed membrane countertops here that we saw inside, and I love that we actually have an extra little utility drawer here. Again, like everything else, fully plywood boxed, because this is a nice quality brand that does good quality work. And having a fridge outside is super, super handy for keeping the kids from trouncing through the camper and tracking in a lot of dirt. Now, just like we have inside, we've got a big swing out HD TV out here, which, I mean, it's located under the awning. It's very cool if you are going to open this thing up for some outdoor entertainment use. The larger entry handle just makes for some easy coming and going. Power awning, power tongue jack for second setting and breaking camp in a flash. And both LED awning lighting and lights on the speakers themselves to really help extend your total camp time, you know, because one of the things with camping is it seems like there's never enough time to do it, at least in my experience. And then even if it means staying up later at night, the more I get to actually stay out here and use and enjoy this, the happier I'm gonna be. And I bet you're probably not much different. So, whether it's hitching pieces, parts, trades financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between, we do it all at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.